How can you just buy the mail? How can you just how can you just buy Royal Mail? I didn't even know it was for sale. I was under the impression that the royal family owned Royal Mail. It was just a British institution. Apparently not. Apparently it was up for sale and it's been bought by a Czech billionaire. But there you go. The sale of Royal Mail's parent company to a Czech billionaire has been cleared by the government. The 3.6 billion takeover by Daniel Kretinsky's EP Group has been given the go-ahead after agreeing legally binding undertakings. The government will retain a so-called golden share that will require it to approve any major changes to Royal Mail's ownership, HQ location, and tax residency. EP Group will also have to maintain the one price goes anywhere universal service obligation, which currently means it has to deliver letters 6 days per week, Monday to Saturday, and parcels Monday to Friday. The company has committed to maintaining the USO for as long as it owns Royal Mail. Earlier this year, Mr. Kretinsky told the BBC he would honour the service in whatever form it takes for as long as I'm alive. The USO is currently under review, with Royal Mail suggesting to regulator Ofcom that reducing second-class deliveries to every other weekday would save up to £300 million per year and give the business a fighting chance. The regulator said in September that it was looking at these changes with a decision due next year. Ofcom Chief Executive Dame Melanie Dawes told the BBC there were real questions about what the service needs to be going into the future. Given letter numbers are failing, we have to think about what is economical. Adding Ofcom would be publishing plans next year to make sure it is sustainable. The takeover of Royal Mail's parent company, International Distribution Services, is expected to be completed early next year. When debts are included, the deal values the company at $5.3 billion. Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds said, while it was up to shareholders to approve the deal, the agreement the government had reached meant the takeover will be a good deal for the UK, be a good deal for the people who work for Royal Mail, and a good deal for customers. Mr. Kretinsky said that the talks with the government had resulted in unprecedented commitments and undertakings. He added the EP Group had a mission to make Royal Mail a successful modern postal operator with high quality service and products for its customers. The conditions agreed by EP Group include keeping the brand name and Royal Mail's headquarters and tax residency in the UK for the next 5 years. It has also reached an agreement in principle with unions that include workers getting a 10% share of any dividends paid out to Mr. Kretinsky, as well as the formation of a workers group that will meet monthly with the directors of Royal Mail to give employees a bigger voice on how it is run. Dave Ward, the General Secretary of the CWU Union, told the BBC it was an extensive agreement and the deal was the best opportunity to save the future of Royal Mail. However, he added that the union had not agreed anything on USO reform and there was a long way to go before that happened. IDS also owns a highly profitable European parcels business called GLS, which made over £300 million last year. This offset losses at Royal Mail, allowing IDS to report a small profit. By bringing GLS parcel know-how to the UK market, coupled with investment in out-of-home delivery lockers, Mr. Kretinsky hopes to build up a pan-European logistics business. The hope is that this will enable Royal Mail to claw back market share it had lost in recent years in the profitable and growing parcels business. Well, to be fair, their competition is Yodel, where you'll get your package 3 weeks late and it'll be absolutely smashed to bits, or DPD, who I hate. I hate DPD, right? Because one thing that DPD do to me constantly, and now this place is all cameraed up, right? We've got cameras absolutely everywhere. We've got cameras here, we've got cameras in front of the building, we've got cameras everywhere. And then I'll get a little email going, oh, we tried to deliver your parcel, but you weren't home. And then the amount of times I've said to DPD going, we have cameras outside, you never even came at the door. You yet again didn't even try and come to the door. They do that all the time. They do it constantly. We've missed out on props, we've missed out on important equipment and everything that we needed for stuff that we were filming because DPD are fucking terrible. So basically, if you want something that says, oh, we'll totally deliver it to you within 2 days, order it 3 weeks ahead, especially if anybody's shipping it with DPD. Or if you would like it to be broken, then go with Yodel. Mr. Kretinsky has a net worth of $6 billion, according to the Sunday Times Rich List. In addition to owning 27% of West Ham United Football Club and 10% of Sainsbury's, Mr. Kretinsky's companies also own a gas transmission service, which still pipes much reduced levels of Russian gas to Europe, paid for and with the consent of the EU. Earlier this year, the takeover was called in for review under national security laws, as Royal Mail is considered vital national infrastructure. But speaking in front of MPs in November, Reynolds had referred to Mr. Kretinsky as a legitimate business figure whose alleged links to Russia had already been reviewed and dismissed when he became the biggest shareholder in the company nearly 2 years ago. Royal Mail, which was split from the post office and privatised a decade ago, has seen its performance deteriorate in recent years, leading to heavy financial losses. Sorry, I've got fucking something in my throat. The volume of letters being posted in the UK has plummeted, with half the number being sent compared to 2011 levels, because pretty much everyone's got an email address now. Like, the vast majority of people that still get mail are old people who just never bothered with the internet, never bothered opening an email address, and whatever, that's completely up to them. But as time goes on, they're all starting to disappear, and it's going to get to the point where literally every single person has an email address. So mail is going to go the way of the dinosaur. Well, I mean, like, sending, like, letters containing words. Parcels are still going to be very important, and I believe that that's what his primary focus is going to be, because that's where the money is. The money's not in letters anymore. The money's definitely going to be in parcels. Last week, Royal Mail was fined £10.5 million by the regulator Ofcom after failing to meet delivery targets for first and second class mail. Ofcom's Dame Melanie Dawes told the BBC it was up to the new ownership to deliver on improvements, and the regulator would absolutely hold Royal Mail to account. Jenny Hall, Director of Corporate Affairs at Royal Mail, told the BBC the company was investing to improve performance, but it was really important the USO was reformed to reflect consumer trends. I believe it's going to be parcels. She added that Royal Mail would always try to keep postage costs as low as possible, but prices do need to reflect the realities of delivering the service. The price of a second-class stamp, which is currently 85p, is regulated by Ofcom, with the amount Royal Mail can increase it by each year tied to inflation. However, there are no such limits on first-class stamps, and in October, Royal Mail pushed the price for first-class mail up by 30p to £1.65, citing very real and urgent financial challenges on the move. For the move. Yeah, I didn't know you could just go in and buy Royal Mail. I didn't even know it was up for sale. I genuinely thought the government owned Royal Mail. I mean, did they? Was it privately owned? Well, they did say it was privately owned before, but the government probably had like a big share in it. I thought it was just completely ran and operated by the government. I did not know that. I thought the post office, which it branched off from, I thought that was the private sector of it. But no, it turns out it's Royal Mail that's the private part. I genuinely didn't know that. Libertarianism. But basically, yeah, this guy came in and bought the mail. He owns your letters, and he's reading them. He's reading your love letters that you're sending to people. The inappropriate ones. He's opening your packages. He's reading your birthday cards, taking the money out of them. That's why he's a billionaire. He's smart. But yeah, I don't really give a toss too much about this guy buying it. Maybe he'll make it better. Who knows? See if he does this massive focus on parcels and then Royal Mail ends up becoming like the dominant parcel delivering force in the UK. Maybe we can finally get fucking rid of DPD.